Psycho Stu. Quentin Rampage Jackson took to social media yesterday and had a lot to say. He said he couldn't hold his mouth anymore. He had to get all this stuff out. He says he's sick of being quiet about his son Raja's attack on Psycho Stu. I'm a father first. That's Quentin Rampage Jackson. Here's what he had to say. Yes, my son took things too far, and I'm pissed at him for being a piece of shit and the way he handled it. But if Psycho Stu wasn't drunk and wouldn't have hit my son over the head with a real beer can while he was on live stream, but Knox wouldn't have felt like they had to make things right by letting Raja get his get back in the ring. But no, my son is not smart as I'd like him to be. And he also revealed he's getting racist threats. His family is getting racist threats. He's getting threats, and he's tired of it. We even saw some screenshots. He shared some screenshots of the threats. People saying terrible things to him, calling him the N-word and all this other crap. And they're actually reaching out to his family as well. Not just Rampage. They're reaching out to his family. DMs, social media. Yeah, getting pretty personal now at this point, considering Rampage Jackson wasn't even at the event. Rampage Jackson taking all the heat because it's his son. Now Rampage Jackson gets to get stuff off his chest. He even said, I shouldn't have said this. My lawyer said no, but I said he went against his lawyer's advice. Rampage Jackson goes off on Psycho Stu. Said he was drinking, he was drunk, he hit him in the head with a beer can. A lot of things happen, and he's defending his son. Rampage Jackson's sick of it. I went to Twitter this morning to check some of his tweets from yesterday. They're gone. So it looks like they were posted and then deleted, possibly. I'm not saying that happened, but I couldn't find them. I can go to Instagram and see if the posts on there have been deleted, because he posted on Instagram as well. Right? It's his priority. He wants to post and delete. Yeah, he can do that if he wants to. Let's see if we can find him here. There we go. Let's see. Here's a post from him. Yeah, this has gone too far. This is Rampage Jackson's Instagram. Talks about his son being booked for an indie show, and his son evidently has a show in San Diego for an indie wrestling organization coming up. I don't know if that's factual, but that's what I'm reading. And this has gone too far. I'm sick of being quiet and letting all the low IQ people click for the clickbait. Yes, my son took things far. Blah, 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 right? But no, my son is not as smart. Get smart, people. It was staged, but Rahad took it too far. He only shook his hand and accepted Psycho Stu's drunken apology because they said he could get in the storyline. He was told he could fuck him up. I have witnesses that says this drunk shit backstage to a fan. Now we have the backstory that my son attacked an innocent military vet with PTSD, like my son knew everything about the man that came up from behind him and he hit him. I don't take kindly to threats. I'm not scared of prison or dying from my kids, and calling me names won't hurt my feelings. My son should face the consequences, okay? Rampage is saying his son should face the consequences, okay? There you go. Stu is lucky I wasn't there when he hit my son over the head with a beer can the day after he got a concussion from sparring. I would have cared if the bunch of pro wrestlers jumped me. I'm a father first. Play stupid games. Win stupid prizes. Rampage Jackson had a lot to say about the incident. Thanks, bro. That's Nate Diaz back in the day. I think Ross Bain Art made it. It's oil painting, and we just stretched it a little bit. I've always wanted to get his signature on it, but I haven't been able to yet. But I'll work on it. I'm a big Nate Diaz fan. Huge Nate Diaz fan. Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz, all them guys. That's how I started. That's how I started this stuff, man. You know, we follow the fighters that had the chip on their shoulder, the ones that were the badasses. And I always liked Nate Diaz. Decent dude, you know, great fighter. A little older now, but he's still a badass. We got some great memories with War Diaz. All right, so that's the Rampage deal. And some people just are like, you know what? We're done talking about this. And we're talking like 2 weeks have gone by, right? So we're done talking about that. Let's move on. Tom Aspinall's dad is in the news, right? Tom Aspinall's father. Tom Aspinall's dad's basically saying, I need to get my son paid. My son's not making enough money here. Let's get some of that boxing money. Here's what he had to say. I'd love to have a very highly paid boxing match for all the money. I don't see why somebody as talented as Tom shouldn't have a piece of that money. The UFC ain't paying that type of money. Wow. UFC champion, heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall wants to go back to boxing, or his father does. Most of the time, Tom's talking to his dad, and they're sharing these same opinions, right? And his dad can put it out because he won't get the heat. He'll get a little bit of heat. Right? It's Tom Aspinall's dad. Who's going to give him a tough time? But why is Tom Aspinall want to do boxing when he's the UFC heavyweight champion, the baddest man in the octagon, right? The baddest man on the planet. Not, I don't know. I think Usyk's a bad motherfucker too, right? But why would they want to go to boxing? And why would the UFC not be paying their fighters enough? You're telling me that the UFC can't keep Tom Aspinall busy. They can't pay him to do extra stuff. He could be the face of the company. I think if Tom Aspinall was from the United States, he'd be the face of the company right now. But he's in the UK, right? He's in the UK. But it doesn't mean they still can't pay him to do all these extra side missions and duties and stuff for the UFC. I mean, I get the Canelo and the Gervonta's promised 150 million versus Jake Paul. I get it. That's like retire money. That's like crazy generational wealth, right? Tom Aspinall may make $1 million a fight. I get it. And that's what they're talking about. Makes sense. Does Tom Aspinall switch to boxing? Tom Aspinall almost went to boxing, back to boxing years ago for the same reason. There's an old interview of Tom Aspinall talking about, man, I mean, I just can't make it. There's not enough money here, right? There's not enough money in MMA. I need to go to boxing. And it's sad to say that the UFC is signing huge contracts. They get a new Paramount deal. Billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. And now fighters have no money in their bank accounts. You know, it's just weird. That is Nate Diaz in the background. Yes. You want to see it? My buddy made that for me a few years ago. It's an oil painting. I've been doing the UFC for a long time. That's where I started. I loved the Nick Diaz, the Pride, all that stuff. Now, we don't have that. We don't have really the badasses anymore. That's Nate Diaz, brother. Damn right. He's always the real G. Big shout out to Nate Diaz, if he's listening. So getting back to the Tom Aspinall gig, guys. Should Tom Aspinall be worried about going to boxing? Really? I don't think so. Just sit where you are. Work on building your brand. Start winning over some new. You got to build your fan base. Do a couple tours in the United States. Do something. Hang out with Stipe. Stipe has a lot of American fans. Do some stuff over here. Come visit. Hit some of the cities. Build some fans in the United States, Tom Aspinall. Make some more money here. Do some streaming. What's good, Abby? How are you? Good to see you or hear you. We're just doing a little UFC talk right now. This is what I do now, Abby. I live stream and I cover the MMA news. That's what I do for my life. My my life now. How are you, Abby? I see you all the time on Facebook. I see all your pictures with your husband and your adventures. I'm happy. I remember when we met. You know, you were you were single and now you're married, and I'm sure you're gonna have kids soon. So exciting. You're gonna have little ninjas, right? Little ninjas. Congratulations on your marriage. So happy for you. You still do MMA stuff, or are you done with it? Yes, Tom Aspinall's dad wants him to do boxing. Good. Congratulations. That's what you need. You need a little baby. You know, I got my baby. He's 4 now. He's in school. I put him on the bus 5 days a week. He's still a terror. Yeah, it's not like it used to be, Abby, where you could make a living out of it. Things have changed. Like it's almost like the UFC and the big organizations have their little cliques and groups that can go to these events and cover it and get backstage. They don't, they have their own little cliques now. It's not the same. I don't really cover it. I used to cover BKFC. You used to cover BYB. I don't cover any bare knuckle anymore. I only cover the UFC. That's it. Once in a while, something pops off, like the Misfits card. We'll cover that, but only UFC now. Yeah, like what about the dirty boxing people? Are they giving you guys passes, or do they pull them too? Adam, what happened to Adam in dirty boxing? I haven't seen him there. Yeah, it just clicks now. Like you got certain people are able to go. But shit, Abby, we traveled the world, right? Good, there you go. We traveled the world, all over, covering karate and mixed martial arts. We had a good life. I will, yeah. That sounds good. We don't need to talk about it on live, right? We don't need to do gossip on live, right? Because that's what everybody wants. They want somebody like the guru that's going to gossip and talk bad about people. Listen, I'm only going to talk about people that talk bad about me, right? But moving right along. All right, Abby, I'll shoot you a text. Promise. And it's good to see you on here. Come say hi once in a while. We're just shooting the shit, running up the YouTube analytics. YouTube likes these lives, man. They love when you go live. They get like, woo, he's going live. It's good to see you. Yeah, it's good to see you. Very happy for you. I'm glad you got out of Ocala, right? Was it Ocala? Anyway, I think it was Ocala, in that area. And you definitely upgraded your life. Definite upgrade. And you can come visit anytime you want, right? Yeah, come visit. All right, so let's get back to some UFC news. Because that's why we're here, right? Talk about UFC stuff. Conor McGregor claims he secured the required number of parliamentary votes to compete to run for Ireland's president. Let me read that one more time. Conor McGregor claims he secured the required number of parliamentary votes to officially run for Ireland's next president. Conor McGregor wants to be president of Ireland, and he's going to have his opportunity in November. That's per McGregor, right? That's what he says. Is it true? I don't know. But that's what he says. So I'm going to give you the news of what he says, right? So you can't come back and say, hey, Chris from MMA Uncensored's giving out fake news and all that bullshit. Because guess what? We don't do that fake news stuff. We're not like these Twitter accounts that just put out fake news so you can get a follower and clickbait. We don't do that. If it's gonna happen, we're gonna put it out. If it's not gonna happen, we're gonna put it out. Once in a while, we do make a mistake because some of the sources we use, they make mistakes. It trickles down, but for the most part, 99.9% everything we put out is accurate. Because I'm not gonna put it out early. We made the mistake before. We made mistakes, but we're not gonna make mistakes ever again. Israel Adesanya is picking Kai Barajo. to defeat Nazardine Imavov by unanimous decision at UFC Paris this weekend. Tom Aspinall, once again, his father wants him to make more money and go to boxing. Israel Adesanya is picking. I'm surprised about this one, guys. This one's surprising. But, I mean, Kai Barajo is a stud, man. Imavov, he's great too. I don't know how this fight's gonna go, but I did my picks yesterday, and I picked Barajo too. But I mean, Imavov is at home in France. I mean, but you know, I got both the fighting nerds to win. If you missed my picks, check out the video from yesterday. I picked Ruffy over BDS, Benoit Saint Denis, and I picked Kai Barajo. I'm working on my Spanish and Brazilian and all my different languages and accents. Kai Barajo. All right. Robert Whitaker says a UFC title is a pipe dream. The pipe dream. Here's what he had to say, his exact quote. The belt is like a pipe dream at this moment. After losing to RDR, it's another loss. It pushes me back further and further from the title. Right now, my trajectory has kind of changed. I've got a few fights left. I want to enjoy the journey. I want to enjoy the fights. I want my family to be a part of it. That's Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker. What a legendary career he had, right? The wars, the battles, the fights, the knockouts. Israel Adesanya, his kryptonite. I mean, Robert Whitaker. Insane career. Absolute Hall of Famer. Congratulations, brother. We're going to lose Robert Whitaker. He's going to be 2 more fights. We lost Dustin Poirier. I mean, Justin Gaethje's got maybe 1 or 2 left. You know, Johnny Bones retired. Jesus. We're losing all the good ones. Who's next? Who's next? I'm glad Max Holloway's making another run because I don't want to lose Max. Max is a stud, man. I think good things are going to happen to him at 155. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but man, he might be Ilia Topuria. He might be Ilia Topuria. Absolutely. Max Holloway has a chance to defeat Ilia Topuria in a rematch. No question. Max Holloway filled out. He's bigger, stronger. He can stand up with Ilia Topuria. I know it, right? A lot of people say I'm full of shit for saying this, but I think Max Holloway can get that win against Ilia. I really do. I really do. I think Max is a different fighter at 155. Just my 2 cents. Speaking of 155, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett was called out by Colby Chaos Covington. Here's what Colby had to say. The Paddy Pimblett fight super interests me. Come up to 170, Paddy. Why are you being a weight bully? You're a bum. You're a gimmick. If I can't get Paddy, then maybe Gilbert Eldorino Burns. Colby Covington wants to fight Paddy Pimblett. Not going to happen. Colby Covington wants to fight Gilbert Burns. They used to train at the same gym. When I visited Colby Covington, I think it was 2019, we helped him make some some Nerd Bash shirts. And we made some personal shirts for him. I delivered them down to American Top Team and hung out with Colby for the day. Gilbert was training. They used to train together. Yeah. Colby was real nice. Real nice to me. Real nice, man. He actually gave me a bunch of boxing gloves and all sorts of nice stuff from American Top Team. They opened the American Top Team closet, which was huge, and he says, grab whatever you want. So I grabbed a bunch of shit. So yeah, Colby Covington was nice to me. Real nice to me. He doesn't talk to me anymore now because I'm media, you know? A lot of the fighters, you know, they'll say hi, they'll text me on Instagram or whatever, but they don't really want to talk too much because they know I'm media, and most of the times when they say something to me, it's probably going to get out there. You know, this off the record stuff, but people are real private these days. Colby Covington, You know, we know about him. We know about his career. He almost made it. He almost made it. But he decided to use that shtick for too long. He decided to use that shtick for too long. I heard he wants to go to WWE, AEW. He wants to stream. Now he wants to fight the White House card. Where's he been for the last 6, 8 months? He hasn't won in what, 4 or 5 years? Is that accurate? I think so. Colby Covington hasn't won in a long time. And here's the thing, guys. I think he's still ranked 10 or 11. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Let's check the rankings. This is going to blow your mind. Because I know what we're going to find out. Because I look at them once a week. Welterweight rankings. You ready? Buckle up, Buttercup. Colby Covington, number 10. Gilbert Burns, number 11. Jeff Neal, 12. D-Rod, 13. Bonfim, 14. Kevin Holland, 15. How in the hell is Colby Covington ranked number 10? Makes no sense. Prates is number 9. Who's doing these rankings? You don't believe me? Look at that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And there's your rankings, guys. There's your rankings. And that's what we got going on for today. That's what we got going on for today. Let's see what else we got going. All right, let's see. Robert Whittaker was surprised Islam Makhachev dropped, relinquished, vacated his UFC lightweight title, calling him the poster boy of the UFC right now. Here's his exact quote. This is Whittaker on Islam Makhachev. I think that was unexpected, was the relinquishing of the lightweight title. I expected it to be in a sense that if Topuria did it, people would have to follow suit. But Islam's kind of like the poster boy right now for the UFC in terms of a megastar sort of thing. I didn't see that one happening. Yeah, no one did. That's what he wanted to do. It's healthier. It's a challenge. And Islam's doing something that his coach, his friend, Khabib never did. Khabib never had it. Never wanted to move up. Probably because of his dad wanted to stay at 155, right? Khabib would have dominated at 170. It would have been him versus Usman. It would have been fun. Teammate versus teammate. I would have loved to see it. But it never happened. Never happened. Never happened. All right, well, that's it for our live today. Appreciate the chat. Appreciate the super chats. Good talking to all my old friends. And we'll see you tomorrow. I'm Chris with MMA Uncensored. Have a great day, fight fans.